The tension at Carrington tells you everything. Manchester United are locked in and ready for war. With Tottenham up next, Rúben Amorim has turned training into a battleground. Every touch, every sprint, every shout has purpose. Because this one, it feels massive. The training ground at Carrington was quiet in the early morning air, yet the mood among the Manchester United squad was anything but relaxed. With the Tottenham clash looming over the weekend, coach Rúben Amorim demanded focus from the off. This wasn't just another week, it felt like a turning point. Several players remain absent or fatigued from recent fixtures, but those present arrived full of intent. Warm-up drills kicked off with the defenders at the forefront. Harry Maguire and Leny Yoro anchored the centre-back unit, while Luke Shaw led the left-side defensive rotations. They ran recovery runs, tight turning drills, and quick positional shifts. Amorim repeatedly paused the session to emphasise spacing and when to step out or drop deep, focused on the pace Spurs can bring. The goalkeepers, including Sen Lammens, practiced rapid distributions, simulating transitions where Tottenham strike swiftly. Next came the midfield units. In the absence of some regulars, the group that trained worked harder to cover the gaps. Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro rotated through pressing triggers, exit zone drills, and quick possession games. The goal? To regain tempo when Spurs press high and to keep possession smart when under duress. Amorim's mantra echoed: when we lose it, react. When we win it, move up front, the attackers were sharp. Matheus Cunha, nearing full fitness, joined the main squad for finishing drills. Low crosses from fullbacks, runners in behind, and one-touch flicks at the near post. His movement caught the eye, and the staff nodded. Alongside him, Bryan Mbeumo and Benjamin Sesko worked through combinations designed to split the Tottenham backline. Diagonal runs, overloads on the wings, and quick switches of play. The signal was loud: United will attack smart and look for chance creation early. As the session moved into its final phase, Amorim set up a high-intensity 9v9 scenario replicating Tottenham's style. Rapid transitions, high press, and exploiting wide spaces. The group that's available pushed hard. Tackles were rushed, passes cut across lines, and the defenders had to recover quickly when the attackers broke. Even though the squad is incomplete, the energy suggested a unit ready to step up. The mood was less about missing personnel, more about maximising what they have. When the whistle blew, there was a sense of achievement. The players gathered, sweat-soaked but focused, as Amorim addressed them. They'll come quick, they'll come at us hard, but we'll match them. We'll be compact, we'll be sharp, we'll be ready. They nodded. This was after all a training session with purpose. In the changing rooms, the talk was quieter but determined. Tottenham await. Manchester United may not have the luxury of full strength, but they have belief. And after today's effort, it's clear the message through Carrington is: we are ready to fight. Tottenham await this weekend, and Manchester United may not have a full squad, but make no mistake, this team is ready for a fight. Amorim's message has sunk in: focus, belief, and execution. Drop your predictions below. Can United outthink and outfight Spurs away from home? And make sure to subscribe to United Vision for all insider updates straight from Carrington. In other news, Rúben Amorim's Manchester United aren't waiting for next summer. They want business done now. Reports claim United are pushing for a £70 million January transfer that could relegate another club. Stick around because this one's wild. Ruthless Manchester United ready to force £70 million January signing through that could result in relegation. Manchester United want to accelerate the signing of a high-quality midfielder in January, and sealing the deal would not only land a blow on Manchester City, but could also send a struggling side down, per reports. Man United's winning run came to an end on Saturday, though the signs over the past month or so suggest the Red Devils are finally on the right track under Rúben Amorim. Their front three is set for the long haul after United invested heavily in Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha and Benjamin Sesko over the summer. The next port of call will be overhauling the midfield, and according to Court Offside, Manchester United don't want to wait until next summer. They state United are ready to accelerate a mid-season move for Nottingham Forest and England ace, Elliot Anderson. The 22-year-old shone during United's clash with Forest on Saturday in what could be viewed as an audition of sorts. Anderson won 100% of the tackles he attempted, played 15 passes into the final third, achieved 14 ball recoveries, created 3 chances, won 3 fouls, and succeeded in both of the take-ons he attempted. Man United's interest in Anderson is well documented, but they're not the only club taking a close look. Chelsea and Anderson's former club, Newcastle, are in the mix too. Man City are also hovering and believed to pose the biggest threat to Man United, per the report. Accordingly, the Red Devils want to mitigate that threat by moving for Anderson mid-season, even if it means paying a premium. The figure of £70 million was cited in the piece. A source was quoted as saying, "United see Anderson as a perfect option and a long-term investment, though they could also accelerate their efforts for him this January." There is a unanimous feeling among the directors, Rúben Amorim, and his coaching staff, that Anderson would be a great addition in that position. Losing Anderson mid-season could be devastating for Forest, who have fired more managers, 2, than matches they've won, 1, this season. Forest are already 4 points adrift of safety, and Anderson's departure would reduce their chances of beating the drop significantly. Accordingly, Team Talk has been informed Forest have slapped a hefty £100 million price tag on the player. They have taken that approach in an attempt to ward off suitors, though Caught Offside's report suggests Man United's aren't deterred. Regarding Anderson, we understand he is open to leaving Forest and securing a move to one of the Premier League's elite. However, there are no suggestions he will agitate for a mid-season move, and at present, he remains fully focused on lifting Forest out of the rut they're in. As such, the signs suggest Man United really will have to make an offer deemed too good to refuse if they're to land their man in January. So United fans, what do you think? Is Elliot Anderson worth £70 million, and should Amorim go all in this January? Drop your thoughts below. I'm reading every comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep it locked right here on United Vision. In other news, Manchester United are planning a £105 million January spending spree, and Rúben Amorim is set to be fully backed by the board. 2 major targets are already on the list, and it looks like Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to make a real statement this winter. Stay locked in, smash that subscribe button, and let's dive into United's next big transfer moves. Manchester United set aside £105 million for January spending spree on 2 targets. United are set to back Rúben Amorim for the longer run, Sir Jim Ratcliffe confirmed in a recent interview. And after a win at Liverpool last weekend, it is fair to say that the Portuguese will have considerable backing to prove himself at the club. Fichajes has reported that Man United are planning another spending spree during the January transfer window, with Athletic Bilbao's Oihan Sanset and Sporting Lisbon's Ousmane Diomande on their radar ahead of winter. According to the source, Amorim is set to be granted a £105 million budget to spend on the duo as he switches his attention to rebuilding the midfield and defence next, having acquired a number of offensive starts over the course of the preceded summer. £105 million enough to make 2 key signings. Oihan Sanset will likely cost Manchester United close to £60 million, although it remains to be seen if Athletic Bilbao are prepared to let go of the 25-year-old midway through the season, especially as his contract with them runs until 2032. He promises to be a solid signing for the Red Devils, but given that Athletic Club are doing well in La Liga and also playing in the Champions League, there is a high possibility that his purchase will not be a successful proposition during the winter. Meanwhile, Ousmane Diomande's future could take care of itself in January as he enters the last 18 months of his contract with Sporting Lisbon. And in order to retain some bargaining power over the 21-year-old, they may let him go sooner rather than later. If Man United can offer approximately £45 million for Diomande, they would feel that they have done good business with signing an incredibly talented central defender with the potential to become one of the world's best a few years down the line. Sanset's signing is more vital for United, however, considering their lack of depth and quality in midfield, whereas Diomande is more of a long-term investment and a possible replacement for Harry Maguire, whose contract expires at the end of the season. Whether the board is prepared to wait for the athletic midfielder until next summer will be interesting to see, though for the time being, It isn't known yet whether or not United have any alternatives in mind heading into January. £105 million on the table, 2 young stars on the radar, and Amorim finally building his own team. What do you think, Reds? Should United go all in for both Sunset and Diamande this January, or save part of that budget for summer targets? Let me know your thoughts below. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to United Vision for more breaking news, transfer updates and analysis. Your #1 stop for everything Manchester United. In other news. What a game. Manchester United have finally done it. A historic win at Anfield after nearly a decade. Rúben Amorim, Maguire, Bruno. Everyone's buzzing after that emotional victory. Stay tuned. We've got all the post-match reactions, the drama, and what this means for United's season ahead. Before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and join the United Vision family. Manchester United's dramatic 2-1 win over Liverpool will go down as one of the defining moments of Rúben Amorim's early reign. It's been almost 10 years since United last tasted victory at Anfield, and this one felt like a turning point. A statement win that reminded fans of what the badge truly represents. Bryan Mbeumo opened the scoring early, but Liverpool pushed relentlessly, hitting the woodwork 3 times and missing key chances before Cody Gakpo's late equaliser. Just when the game looked set to end level, captain for the day, Harry Maguire, rose highest to head home the winner, sparking wild celebrations among players, staff and fans. Rúben Amorim was candid in his post-match reaction, calling it a good victory, but just 3 points. He praised the spirit and belief of his team, saying that's the foundation of everything United are building. Amorim admitted they lost composure at times, but was delighted with their fight and mentality. Harry Maguire couldn't hide his emotions either, saying the win meant everything, especially after years of disappointment at Anfield. He called it more than just 3 points and dedicated the victory to the fans who've endured tough results in recent years. Bruno Fernandes echoed that sentiment, describing it as massive for the confidence of the squad. The Portuguese playmaker emphasised that it wasn't just about emotion, but about sticking to Amorim's tactical plan, frustrating Liverpool, exploiting space, and staying disciplined. With back-to-back Premier League wins, United finally looked like a side rediscovering belief under Amorim. But as the boss said, the focus now turns to Brighton, and continuing the momentum that could define their season. What a win. What a night. Amorim's United are starting to believe again, and performances like this prove it. But do you think this is the moment the season truly turns around for the Reds? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe so you never miss a moment of United news, analysis and drama, only here on United Vision in other news. Manchester United are in crisis again, and this time, it's not just rumours. Reports confirm a 7-hour behind-closed-doors meeting between United's top brass, the same kind that led to Erik ten Hag's sacking last year. Senior players have been questioned about Rúben Amorim, and serious talks are underway at board level. Is history about to repeat itself at Old Trafford? Let's get into the full story. Manchester United's 7-hour crisis meeting led to sacking as Amorim questions asked behind the scenes. Manchester United chiefs have reportedly held talks with senior players to discuss the current situation at the club, with Rúben Amorim's future still up in the air. The international break has done little to quell the speculation surrounding Rúben Amorim's future at Manchester United. That's in the wake of reports suggesting club bosses have been in discussions with key players to gauge the current mood within the squad. Amorim, 40 years old, is fast approaching his first-year anniversary at Old Trafford, having taken over from Erik ten Hag in November 2024. However, after guiding the team to a record-low 15th place finish in the Premier League last season, progress has been slower than many had hoped. United hit another low this season when they were knocked out of the Carabao Cup by League Two side Grimsby Town. With Amorim's men still yet to secure their first away win of the campaign, club chiefs have turned to certain players for their take on how things are progressing. This situation echoes the circumstances that led to a marathon 7-hour meeting between Ten Hag and his former superiors this time last year. And it wasn't long after the tactician was sacked from his role. Co-owner Joel Glazer, chief executive Omar Barada, sporting director Dan Ashworth, and technical director Jason Wilcox all convened at Ratcliffe's Knightsbridge offices in London to discuss the state of the club. Board member Jean-Claude Blanc, Chief Operating Officer Colette Roche, and Chief Financial Officer Roger Bell were also understood to have been part of the summit. Ten Hag survived just 3 weeks following that lengthy meeting, and it may not be long before United's top brass are forced to convene once again as issues on the pitch continue to pile up. Barada and Wilcox are understood to be leading recent discussions between the club's hierarchy and the playing squad. Captain Bruno Fernandes is among those who have been consulted, while other opinions have also been sought. It has been suggested the conversations were casual in nature and not necessarily designed to evaluate Amorim's standing at the club as such. Nevertheless, it is not the sort of activity one would normally witness at a club where everything is functioning seamlessly. United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has repeatedly been compelled to field questions regarding the manager's future. The Ineos billionaire has defended his head coach, indicating he expects the Portuguese boss to remain at the club for the foreseeable future. He has not had the best of seasons, Ratcliffe said on the debut episode of the Business Podcast after describing Amorim as a decent bloke. Ruben needs to demonstrate he is a great coach over 3 years. That's where I would be on the topic of sacking Amorim. The remarks arrived amid growing anger from supporters about how the club is being operated. The Glazer family's stewardship of United has remained a significant source of frustration for fans, and Ratcliffe has found it difficult to shift sentiment since acquiring nearly 30% of the club and assuming control of daily operations last year. Oliver Glasner, Eddie Howe, Gareth Southgate, and Diego Simeone are among the managers who have been mentioned in connection with the United position recently. Yet it seems the current boss is staying put for now. Despite overseeing 50 Premier League matches, United's boss, Amorim, is yet to secure back-to-back victories in the competition. The Red Devils have enjoyed a winning streak at home and beat Sunderland 2-0 just prior to the international break, but their away performance continues to be a major worry. Currently positioned 10th in the league and 2 points shy of the top 6, United face a daunting run of fixtures. Over the next month, they'll be squaring off against threats like Liverpool, Brighton, Nottingham Forest and Tottenham. 7-hour meetings, player consultations, tension everywhere. What's your take, Reds? Is Amorim being treated unfairly? Or is this just inevitable after such poor results? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's debate it out. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for more United Vision stories, breaking updates, and behind-the-scenes insight every week.